Hello. I want to take a minute to talk about some functionality that has been extended in version 4.48, which is our September 30th, 2024 release. Specifically, I want to talk about some costing work that's being done when integrated to Business Central. And that's true whether we're talking about on-premise or in the cloud, Business Central. Let me pick up a batch ticket. It's around how we handle reporting of cost information against batch transactions. Specifically, I'm going to pull up a batch ticket that I've got out here. I think this one will work. And I've actually posted a couple of transactions, and I've got a transaction queued up, and I'll kind of talk you through this. I've got two transactions here that have been entered and posted. The first one is for a non-stocking item, water. So it doesn't actually go to Dynamics. It just stays within Vicinity. I'm not adding cost right now, but I could. The second one is a bit more traditional. It's an inventory item, a lot tracked item. We have entered the quantity on against the batch, this one right here, the third one down, entered the quantity on the batch and have posted it to Business Central. And what I want to point out is we have an ERP document number. That is the actual transaction number over in Business Central. True also if you're Great Plains as well, for that matter. The status here just tells us where the transaction is in its process. It's done, it's released, it's done. The previous one has been entered and saved but not posted. Where I'm going with this is that I've actually got a quantity of 4 here, and I'll go ahead and just let the post happen real quick. What we're writing is a transaction to Business Central, and all the products are the same way for Dynamics. And it does its processing, and in this case, Business Central gave it a document number. So we have document number 50, and it also brought back a cost as of this moment. Now, the challenge that exists, especially with Business Central, we saw it a little bit in Nav, is it is possible for you to revalue a posted transaction over in Business Central. Use case is this. PO in Business Central, you do a PO receipt that puts the inventory on hand. And then let's assume before you've gotten the vendor invoice, some of the inventory is used, like it is here on a batch ticket. So I used 4 units on this batch ticket. But that inventory value is not finished yet because we're still getting the vendor's invoice and it'll settle it. The terms being used in Business Central for that is a cost adjustment transaction. And it allows that even after posting and all that, which is really great. It causes a challenge for us from a costing perspective because all our work's already been done. Now, Business Central handles all the costing and all that and its cost layers. The real key, the thing that we weren't doing as we probably could have and have made changes to, is the actual cost adjustment transaction itself wasn't being tied back to the original batch. So, for example, let me just go ahead and pick up an item. We'll go pick up on DC RMO2 right here. I'm just going to navigate into this item. This is the one I just posted the transaction for. And then here we'll just go to the ledger entry. Talk a little bit about that. So here are the negative inventory adjustments. This is the negative inventory adjustment that we just did. Now, what you'll find in our transactions that we originate and we create from the very beginning was we were giving a batch number, tying on our batch number, the facility, the line ID, and the event number. These are all important if you're trying to do kind of an after-the-fact cost roll-up or a cost analysis of that batch. We've always had this transaction, but when a cost adjustment comes in, and it does create another transaction called a cost adjustment, it wasn't adding these values, so you couldn't tie the cost adjustment back into the batch for reporting purposes. It's handling it on the general ledger, no problem. It's never been an issue from a T account perspective, but on an after-the-fact kind of post-mortem, what was the cost of this batch, you need to take into consideration those cost adjustments. And now it's rather easy to do that with a report because now we have the batch that can tie back. The batch number ties the original transaction as well as the cost adjustment transaction together so that you're able to report them to get a full cost of that particular batch. So a little bit of work on our part. It was mostly addressing the post of those transactions, and we got that populating the batch. If the transaction is being adjusted originated from Vicinity, then we'll grab that batch information and put it into the total cost for a report. Anyway, we hope that helps. This was brought up to us by a client that had gone to Business Central that had been used to doing some cost reporting, and it wasn't tying out the way they expected it to. That was the source of that. Got it resolved. So just make sure to pick up the available extension from us. It's available for you. Just let support know, and we'll get it to you and help your reseller load it if necessary. They can probably do it. Anyway, I think that's it. Let us know what we can do to help to make your life a little easier. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.